Hi, good people. How are you doing? It's a girl back again with another topic. And today we are focusing on understanding autism spectrum disorder, which most people refer to as ASD or simply autism. And today I would like us to have an understanding of autism by building awareness, acceptance, and also learning how we can support. I have sorry. I have planned this presentation and I have grouped it into 3 segments. Sorry, just a minute. Into 3 segments. That is, the first part is understanding autism, and this will discuss on what is autism, who does autism affect, and causes and risk factors in relation to autism. The second part is signs, symptoms, and daily impact. That is, how autism presents, how autism affects individuals and families, and strength associated with autism. And the third part will be focusing on myths, facts, and support strategies. That is, myths, facts, supporting autistic individuals, and building acceptance. So, let's do this. So, uh, like I always ask a question at the beginning of my topics, I would like to ask, what comes to your mind when you hear the word autism? So, autism is often misunderstood. You can comment below what comes to your mind, yeah? And also leave any question that you might want me to answer, or any comment that you may have, or anything that I might leave out in this presentation, yeah? We learn from each other. So, autism is often misunderstood, and today we are learning not just what autism is, but how to understand and support autistic individuals with dignity and compassion. So, tuingie huko ndani. What is autism? Autism spectrum disorder, as it is called, which is ASD, is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects how a person communicates, interacts socially, processes information, behaves, and experiences the world. It is called a spectrum because people experience autism in different ways. For example, one autistic child may speak fluently but struggle socially, and another one may be nonverbal but communicate through gestures or devices. Both are autistic, but their needs are different. It is very important to note that autism is not an illness that someone catches. It is a different way the brain develops and processes the environment. Okay? So, who does autism affect? Autism affects children, teenagers, adults, males and females, and all races and cultures. So, in short, autism affects all people. Symptoms often appear in early childhood and usually before age 3. Autism is a lifelong. A child with autism becomes an autistic adult. Support needs many change, but autism does not go away. Okay? For example, an autistic child may struggle with speech, and an autistic adult may struggle with workplace communication. There are different causes and risk factors associated with autism. There is no single known cause, but there are contributing factors in association with that, and one of them being genetics from your lineage, and it is passed to you. Another contributing factor is differences in brain development, and the last one is environmental influences during pregnancy. It is very important to note that autism is not caused by bad parenting, vaccines, spiritual attacks, or lack of discipline. These are just misconceptions that cause stigma. Okay, that is it with part 1. Let's go to part 2, which entails signs, symptoms, and daily impacts. So, how does autism present? Autism may present in different areas. One being communication differences. Some autistic individuals may speak late, they may repeat words, they may struggle to express needs, they may avoid eye contact, and even interpret language literacy. For example, if told, hold your horses, they may become confused because their interpretation of the words are literary, as you are saying them, hold your horses. Okay? The other way autism presents itself is social interaction differences. People who are autistic may struggle to make friends. They may prefer to play alone. They may find it hard to read emotions. And lastly, they may avoid physical affection. For example, a child may not respond when peers invite them to play, not because they dislike others, but because social interaction is difficult for them. The other way autism presents itself is repetitive behaviors, and this may include repeating movements, hand flapping, rocking, repeating phrases, or even lining up toys. These behaviors may help with self-regulation. For example, a child may rock back and forth when overwhelmed. The other way autism may present itself is through sensory sensitivity. Autistic individuals may be oversensitive to noise, sensitive to touch, sensitive to bright lights, or even sensitive to textures. For example, a child may cry in a noisy room because sounds feel overwhelming. And lastly, autism may present through need for routine. Many autistic individuals rely on predictability. Changes may trigger distress. For example, changing the route to school may cause anxiety to a child who is autistic. So, let's shift to how autism affects the individual. Autism affects daily functioning in areas like learning. Some autistic individuals learn differently. They need visual aids, and they may excel in specific subjects. It also affects the individual in communication. Yeah? Difficulty expressing needs can lead to frustration. For example, a child unable to communicate hunger may cry or scream when they are hungry. It may also affect mental health. Autistic individuals may experience anxiety, depression, social isolation, and especially when misunderstood. It may also affect self-esteem. Repeated criticism can lead to shame. For example, if a child is constantly told, stop acting weird, they may feel broken. let's focus on how autism affects the families now of people living with autism. Okay, so families may experience stress, they may experience financial pressure uh, as they need to take care of the autistic uh, individual in their family. They may also go through social stigma, and they may lastly experience emotional exhaustion. Parents may struggle to access diagnosis, therapy, and even school support. For example, a parent may avoid public outings due to fear of judgment from other people if the child has a meltdown. But families also experience resilience, they experience patience, they experience deeper understanding, and they experience strong advocacy skills. So, I would like to ask a question that I would really appreciate and love if you commented below, answered below with your understanding. Okay, so what challenges do you think autistic individuals face that others may not see or may not understand? What do you think? And as you're noting that down, let me discuss the third part of our presentation, which is myths, facts, and support strategies. I'll start off with the myths and facts about autism. The first myth is autistic people do not feel emotions, but the fact is they do feel the emotions deeply, but may express them differently. For example, an autistic child may not hug when happy, but may show joy by smiling or jumping. The second myth is that autism is caused by bad parenting, but the fact is, autism is a neurodevelopmental condition, not a parenting failure. The third myth is all autistic people are geniuses, but the fact is, some have exceptional abilities, but many have ordinary strengths and challenges like any other child or any other person. The fourth myth is autism can be cured, but the fact is, autism is lifelong and support helps people thrive. And the last myth is autistic people don't want friends, but the fact is, many want connection but struggle with social communication. How can we support individuals who are autistic? Support may include acceptance, understanding differences rather than forcing normal behavior. The second way we can support is structured routines. Predictability reduces anxiety. We can also support through communication support, use of visuals, simple instruction, and patience. The fourth way we can support people living with autism is sensory awareness, reduce overwhelming stimuli. And lastly, how we can support people living with autism is through celebrate strengths. Autistic individuals may excel in memory, art, detailed focused tasks, music, or even patterns. For example, some autistic individuals notice patterns others miss. How do we build acceptance and reduce stigma? Autistic people are often judged as rude, stubborn, or strange. Yeah? These are just labels and they are harmful. Instead of asking what is wrong with them, simply ask what support do they need. It is very important to note that autism is different, but not a defect. Okay? So, autism is not a tragedy. Lack of understanding is the tragedy. Okay? Autistic individuals deserve respect, support, inclusion, and dignity. And as I conclude, last but not least, awareness helps us understand, but acceptance changes lives. Ask yourself, what is one thing you can do differently to support an autistic individual? Also, put it down in the comment section, and I will really appreciate that, and I know someone else might learn from you. And lastly, autism affects communication, behavior, and sensory processing. It also affects people differently. It is often misunderstood. It requires support, not stigma. And autism does not remove a person's value or dignity. And that is the most important thing. Please like, share, and comment, and I will really appreciate. So bye for now. See you on the next one.